Hello everyone, welcome to vlog 6, the recap. We're going to go over the scripture tracker, wellness tracker, as well as a day of eating. So let's jump into the scripture tracker. We went over chapters 29 through 35 of Genesis. So starting out in chapter 29, verses 1 through 35, subheading Jacob marries Leah and Rachel. Key verse 31, the Lord opened Leah's womb and not Rachel's. In other words, birth is in God's plan, so avoid interfering with God's plan when it comes to birth. Moving on to chapter 30, verses 1 through 43, subheading Jacob's prosperity. Key verse 25, Joseph is the chosen one. Follow God's path, pray and be patient. There was a lot of difficulty with Rachel trying to bear children and servants coming involved. So eventually Rachel bore Joseph, and all in God's plan. Moving on to chapter 31, verses 1 through 55, Jacob flees from Laban. Key verse 3, the Lord said, I will be with you. There's more context clues, but that specific part demonstrated that Jacob was the chosen one and God will provide direction. And even in our own lives, sometimes we need to flee bad situations and God will be us through those difficulties. Moving on to chapter 32, verse 1 through 32, Jacob fears Esau. There's also another subheading, Jacob wrestles with God. Key verse 28, your name shall be Israel. We are made new with God. In other words, there can be change. Backtracking to a few chapters ago, Esau hated Jacob's guts for stealing not only his birthright, but also the blessing from their father Isaac. But through this chapter, we saw that change can happen, and Jacob proved that. Now, moving on to chapter 33, verse 1 through 20, Jacob meets Esau. Verse 4, key verse 4, Esau embraced him. People can change, similar to what I just said from chapter 32. In God's eyes, people have much opportunity through him. So you got to take him up on that and wait until it's also the right time. Hope for the best and prepare for the worst at times. It's pretty scary knowing that Esau had 400 men. Jacob didn't know what was going to happen, but everything worked out. Moving on to chapter 34, verse 1 through 31, the defiling of Dinah. Key verse 31, should he treat our sister like a prostitute? No is the clear answer when Jacob's children were asking him after Jacob found out that they killed many men. However, there may be alternatives to killing. As Jacob highlighted, it caused some issue, but in the end, God handled the revenge, and moving into chapters moving forward, God protected Jacob and his family, even though there was some controversy with people killing men, or Jacob's children killing the men who defiled Dinah. All right, moving on to chapter 35, verse 1 through 29, subheadings, God blesses and renames Jacob, and the deaths of Rachel and Isaac. Key verse 3, God answers me. In other words, glorify God and listen, follow, and worship, especially during the difficult times that Jacob faced. One of his wives died and his father died. It's all part of God's plan, and even through those hardships, we must pursue God. Now that we went over the scripture tracker, we can go over the wellness tracker. Starting off with mental wellness, I focused on getting closer to 7.5 hours of sleep, which was a success. The plan now is to keep progressing towards 8 hours and track. Moving on to physical wellness, I focused on tracking diet. Definitely focused on portions as well as having a balanced diet. Moving forward, I want to use MyFitnessPal to get more particular with really what's going in my body. For spiritual wellness, I focused on writing key parts of each day, really mentally thinking of where I'm at really helps. The plan now is to update the scripture tracker in Google Docs with this information that I've been sharing, as well as what main ideas that I have aside from the key verses. For environmental wellness, I focused on tracking chores, which came down to cleaning on the spot. If I see something that's out of place, put it back in place. But now I want to make a chores template of the different ways to approach different chores, especially when you may have piles of laundry or dishes in the sink that are intimidating. For emotional wellness, I focused on tracking my happiness on a scale of 1 to 10. For me, it really helps to quantify something with a number, average being an 8. So the plan is to try to make it a 10, and the two things to try to push it towards a 10 would be focus on my breathing and my tone. Sometimes the way I express myself can work me up in ways that I don't need to be. For occupational wellness, I focused on tracking tasks with dates and percent completion, Excel, as well as having a month, day, and year attached to that file really helps solidify and motivate me, and I encourage y'all to do it because it can motivate you, seeing that, oh, there actually is some progress happening when you can physically see different files being made, maybe even add some color into it. Now for financial wellness, I focused on tracking receipts, which made me second guess buying things, especially because things expire, and even if there's a good deal, it may not need to proceed with it. So the plan now is to prepare for holiday shopping, especially with Christmas around the corner. For social wellness, I focused on watching Marvel movies or trailers, which was extremely fun. So the plan moving forward is to continue watching Marvel movies and eat snacks. Snacks are amazing. All right, now that the scripture tracker and the wellness tracker are done, I will walk y'all through what I eat and some of the specifics with that. So breakfast is one of two things. It's almonds, walnuts, Belvita, a cup of soy milk, which is about 680 calories, 53 grams of carbs, 44 grams of fat, 21 grams of protein, or 4 whole eggs, 2 pieces of sourdough toast, 1 cup of soy milk, which is 734 calories, 54 grams of carbs, 54 grams of carbs, 42 grams of fat, and 39 grams of protein. Now, lunch and dinner is usually a toss-up between these two things. There are some other lunches and dinners that I have, but the two primary are either 2 turkey hot dogs, 2 pieces of sourdough toast, and 1 cup of soy milk, which is about 500 calories, 59 grams of carbs, 20 grams of fat, and 24 grams of protein. The other lunch or dinner would be 2 servings of pasta, which comes in a box, 4 ounces of ground turkey, 1 cup of soy milk, which is approximately 641 calories, 99 grams of carbs, about 10 grams of fat, and 42 grams of protein. The end of the day, especially after a workout, I like to have a protein shake and some fiber, which is 165 calories, 14 grams of carbs, 1 gram of fat, 25 grams of protein, for the grand total of about 2,000 calories, ranging from 115 to 130 grams of protein, 70 to 75 grams of fat, and 215 to 230 grams of carbs. It ranges. I like to have sweets. I may have a different breakfast or lunch or dinner than the ones that I described here. However, this gives a very good foundation of where I'm at, and moving forward, I definitely want to focus on, again, MyFitnessPal, tracking the macros and seeing more of the specifics. This wraps up the video. Next video, maybe I'll go into the budgetary part of it. With that being said, I really enjoyed making this content. Look forward to making more content. I encourage you to like, subscribe, turn on your notifications, and put down in the comments below what you liked, what you didn't like, what you want to see. With that, I love you all. Hope you all are doing well and continue to do well. God bless.